I know what you're feeling. Sometimes we find ourselves trapped in an emotional loop that seems impossible to break. That person occupies every corner of your mind, and even though you know they aren't good for you, you keep searching for them in memories, in imagined conversations, in every silence. It's a constant weight, an emotional burden that drains you, and yet you just can't let go. No matter how hard you try, everything seems to circle back to the same place. It's as if an invisible thread connects you both, pulling you back even when that bond causes you pain. You tell yourself that you must move on, but the emptiness left by trying to do so feels more terrifying than the hurt you're already enduring. Letting go isn't easy. It's an inner struggle filled with doubts and intense emotions. Yet recognizing this weight is the first step toward facing it. Emotionally detaching from someone who obsesses you isn't a sudden act, nor does it mean erasing them overnight. It's a process that requires concrete steps, patience, and steady determination. Here, we'll explore how to begin releasing that connection that feels so unbreakable. That heaviness in your chest, that inability to stop thinking about someone who has become the center of your universe. There are nights when you wonder why you just can't let go. The pain is real, and I want you to know you're not alone. Breaking those ties that bind you to someone isn't about force. It's about learning how to free your soul. We'll walk this path together, step by step, toward your emotional freedom. First step, open your eyes to the truth. Often, we cling not to a person themselves, but to what they represent: love, security, validation. Sometimes that connection doesn't reflect reality, but our own hopes and yearnings. The truth might hurt, but it also sets you free. Think of it as lifting a veil that prevented you from seeing clearly. You can't change what happened, and you can't rewrite the past, but you can look ahead with renewed perspective. Second step, cut the threads that bind you. Each time you check their social media, reread old messages, or find excuses to re-enter their life, you reinforce the bond keeping you trapped. These actions, seemingly harmless, are tiny chains holding your heart. You don't have to hate or reject those memories, but you do need to store them where they can't hurt you anymore. Block, delete, tidy up those spaces. This isn't about forgetting. It's about giving yourself the gift of peace. Third step, fill the void left by the obsession with something that nurtures your soul. When someone takes up so much space in your life, letting them go can feel like losing a piece of yourself. Yet that emptiness isn't truly a loss. It's an opportunity. It's time to rediscover who you are beyond that connection. What activities brought you joy before this person crossed your path? Which dreams have you put on hold? Revisit those aspirations and let them remind you what it means to feel alive. Fourth step, learn to embrace the pain instead of running from it. I know it hurts. Letting go can feel like mourning, because it is a kind of loss. You're leaving behind one version of your life, and it's natural to grieve. But understand this: the pain you feel isn't there to punish you. It's there to heal you. Allow yourself to feel it. Cry if you need to. Write down what you're experiencing, and give that pain a space to express itself so it can then transform into strength. Fifth step, treat yourself with the compassion you deserve. Maybe right now you're blaming yourself, wondering why you let it go this far, or why you can't let go more quickly. These feelings only feed a cycle of suffering. Instead of judging yourself, speak kindly to yourself. Remind yourself that you're doing the best you can, that every small step counts, and that you don't need all the answers today. Self-love doesn't always arrive in a flash. Sometimes it's a gentle whisper you repeat until you believe it. Sixth step, look within and ask what you're seeking in that person that you haven't found in yourself. Often, what binds us isn't the individual, but the emotions we've projected onto them. The need to feel loved, valued, or safe. Reflect honestly. This isn't about blame, but discovery. When you identify what you truly need, you can start giving it to yourself. Because what you search for in others often already exists within you, waiting to be recognized. Seventh step, build internal barriers to protect your peace. Even if you remove this person from your life, your mind can still bring them back. In those moments, don't fight your thoughts. Instead, redirect your energy towards something that does you good. A walk outdoors, a few minutes of meditation, or writing down what's on your mind can help release that trapped energy. The mind can be persistent, but you have the power to guide your focus elsewhere. Eighth step, seek support, but choose wisely. Sometimes talking to someone is the relief you need, but be sure that person can listen without judgment or without fueling your obsession. If this process feels too heavy, seeking professional help isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of courage. A therapist can help you find personalized tools to work through your emotions and heal more deeply. Ninth step, reconnect with your purpose. In the grip of obsession, we often lose sight of what truly matters to us. Write down your dreams, your goals, what you love doing. Let these things be the beacon guiding you forward. Reclaiming your passions won't just distract you, it will remind you that you are much more than this relationship or emotional entanglement. 10th step, give yourself time without despairing. It's not about measuring your progress every day or punishing yourself if you still think about that person. It's about moving forward with intention, celebrating each small achievement, and remembering that you deserve a full life free of emotional chains. Letting go doesn't mean the love disappears. It means you transform it into something that no longer harms you. I feel your pain, and I know how hard this journey can be. But I also know you have the strength to walk it. Each step you take forward is an act of self-love, a reminder that you deserve peace, and a promise that the best is yet to come. Emotional obsession doesn't spring from nowhere. It results from a blend of emotions, experiences, and how we interpret our relationships. Often we're not so attached to the person themselves, but to what they represent: love, security, validation, or the hope of something we feel we lack. Many times, we obsess because we project our emotional deficiencies onto that person. We believe their presence fills a void, completes us, or somehow validates our existence. This kind of attachment can become so strong because we feel that without that connection, we'll be unprotected or incomplete. But this belief is often an illusion. What we seek in others may be something we haven't yet learned to cultivate within ourselves. Idealization plays a major role. We don't cling to who the person truly is, but to the version we've constructed of them. We create a perfect image, ignoring their flaws and the signs that the relationship isn't healthy. In our minds, this person symbolizes the kind of love we always wanted or the solution to our insecurities. But this idealization doesn't reflect who they are. It reflects what we want to see in them. Another important factor is the fear of emptiness. The idea of letting someone go can feel like losing a part of ourselves, especially if we've invested so much time and energy in that connection that it defines us. We struggle to imagine a life where that person isn't present, even if their presence brings more harm than good. This fear can paralyze us and make us hold on, despite knowing that release would be best. Finally, obsession can be linked to unresolved past experiences. If we once felt rejection, abandonment, or a lack of affection, we might unconsciously try to mend those wounds through a current relationship. It's as if we expect this person to fill the voids left by our past. But this approach doesn't free us. It perpetuates a cycle of emotional dependency. Understanding why we obsess is an essential step toward liberation. It's not about judgment or guilt, but about observing with honesty what keeps us trapped. Once we identify these dynamics, we begin to regain control over our emotions and forge a path toward a healthier connection with ourselves. Letting go isn't synonymous with giving up or forgetting. Letting go is an act of self-love, a conscious decision to release what harms us. It's difficult because we often feel that by letting go, we're losing something precious. Yet the truth is that letting go allows us to recover something even more important: our peace. Clinging to someone often makes us forget the most essential thing: our ability to live and be happy on our own. We hold on in the hope that this complicated connection will fill voids or soothe our pain. However, in trying to sustain what cannot be sustained, we sacrifice our tranquility. The question isn't what you are losing by letting go, but what you are reclaiming by doing so. Letting go also means accepting that some things aren't meant to last. Life teaches us that not everything is under our control, and learning to live with that truth sets us free. Sometimes, staying tied to someone isn't about love. It's about fear of what comes afterward. Although that fear is real, it can't drive our decisions. Freeing yourself from that weight doesn't mean you stop valuing what you shared. It means you recognize that you deserve something different, something that doesn't cause continuous suffering. When you decide to let go, you create space for something new to enter your life. New experiences, new lessons, and above all, a new relationship with yourself. That relationship with yourself is the foundation of everything. By releasing someone from your mind and heart, you aren't denying what was. You're honoring what will be. You're choosing to look forward and build something that reflects what you truly need and deserve. Letting go is an act of courage. It means facing the pain, embracing it, and then allowing it to pass. Yet in that process, you realize that letting go doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. It reminds you that you can overcome even your darkest moments and create a space within that's filled with light and peace. One of the greatest obstacles to emotional detachment is the endless cycle of thoughts trapping you in the past. You replay conversations, imagine alternative scenarios, and return again and again to the same memories. This cycle not only fuels the obsession, but also drains your emotional and mental energy. Breaking it isn't easy, but it's crucial to regaining your calm. The first step in stopping these thoughts is recognizing when they occur. Often we don't realize we're stuck in a repetitive pattern until we're already immersed in it. Pay attention to these moments. Identify what triggers them: a song, a place, a photo, or even a fleeting thought that carries your mind back to that person. Awareness is the first step toward change. Once you identify the pattern, practice techniques to interrupt it. A powerful tool is to redirect your attention to something that demands your immediate focus. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath and counting to 10, or something more concrete like getting up and doing a physical activity, organizing a space, stepping outside for a walk. The key is to keep these thoughts from taking full control. Another effective technique is to question these thoughts. Ask yourself, what do I gain by replaying this over and over? Most of the time, you'll find no useful answer. These thoughts don't bring solutions or relief. Recognizing this can help you see them for what they are, mere projections that no longer serve you. Finally, introduce new mental habits to replace these negative patterns. Dedicate a moment each day to writing down your emotions in a journal or reflecting on something positive that happened. Changing the narrative in your mind won't happen overnight, but with practice, you can fill that mental space with more constructive, less destructive thoughts. Breaking the cycle of repetitive thoughts isn't achieved at once. It's a daily choice to prioritize your well-being over nostalgia. Although it may not always be simple, every time you make that choice, you move closer to the peace you so desperately need. At the core of many emotional obsessions lies a deeply rooted desire to feel approved, validated, and loved. Consciously or not, we may have tied our self-worth to how someone else sees us. But seeking external validation not only distances us from our essence, it also prolongs the pain, leaving us at the mercy of others' decisions and emotions. The first step toward freeing yourself from this need is recognizing your intrinsic worth. You are not less valuable because someone didn't choose you, didn't appreciate you, or didn't meet your expectations. Your worth doesn't depend on their gaze, but on how you choose to see yourself. This realization doesn't come instantly, but it starts when you ask, what makes me feel I need this person's approval to be okay? When we seek external validation, we often do so to fill our internal voids. Maybe you're searching in others for the acceptance you feel you lack within yourself. But the truth is that no one can give you the peace that only comes from inside. Reflect. What words or gestures do you crave from that person that you could offer to yourself? Learn to be your own source of support, even when it's hard. A powerful exercise to strengthen your self-esteem is listing your achievements, qualities, and the things you value about yourself. At first, it might be hard to identify them, but over time, you'll see how much you have to offer. Repeat affirmations like, I am enough just as I am, or I deserve love and respect without having to prove anything. Though they may feel empty at first, these words are seeds that, with repetition and care, can transform how you see yourself. Moreover, establish clear boundaries to protect yourself. The need for approval can make us tolerate harmful behaviors simply out of fear of losing that connection. Learn to say no when something isn't healthy for you. Recognizing and respecting your limits not only strengthens your self-esteem, it also helps you rebuild your identity from a place of personal power. Freeing yourself from the need for approval is an act of self-love. It's understanding that while affection from others is wonderful, your well-being should not hinge on their acceptance. When you break free from this dependence, you don't just regain your power, you also find a peace no one can take away. This peace doesn't stem from being loved by others, but from learning to love yourself exactly as you are. When someone has taken up so much space in your life, imagining a future without them can feel bleak. Yet this apparent emptiness isn't an end, but a new beginning. It's time to build a path where you are the protagonist, where your happiness no longer depends on anyone but you. Start by visualizing what your life might look like without them. It's not about denying what you felt, but accepting that your future can be fulfilling without that connection. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what would my life be like if I could release this burden? Imagine peaceful days where your thoughts don't revolve around someone else, but around your own dreams and goals. This vision is possible, but it requires action to make it real. Rebuilding your future means rediscovering yourself. During this obsession, you may have sidelined important aspects of who you are. Consider what used to ignite your passion before this person became your focus. Maybe you once loved art, music, sports, or reading. Returning to these activities won't just distract your mind, it will remind you who you are beyond that relationship. Also, create new experiences unrelated to them. Visit places you never visited together. Make plans that don't include shared memories. This helps you begin associating your life with new emotions, free of their shadow. Each new experience you embrace is a step toward a future where they no longer occupy any space. Finally, set personal goals that excite you. They needn't be enormous, but they should motivate you to move forward. It might be learning something new, improving at work, or simply caring more for your physical and emotional health. These small daily victories will pave a solid path toward a more independent, fulfilling life. Building a future without someone who meant so much isn't easy, but it's an opportunity to start anew. It's a way of showing yourself that you deserve a life filled with love, and most importantly, self-love. In that future you're creating, you are enough, and you have the power to fill it with happiness and purpose. When we're obsessed with someone, our identity can become buried under the weight of that connection. We stop thinking about ourselves, and everything revolves around the other person, what they want, what they feel, what they expect. Letting go of that obsession isn't just about freeing yourself from them. It's about rediscovering who you are, including the version of yourself you've neglected. The first step toward rediscovering yourself is looking inward. Take time to reflect on who you were before that person entered your life. What stirred your passion? What made you smile without effort? Often, obsession diverts us from our goals, our passions, and our authenticity. Recovering these forgotten aspects is an act of love toward your identity. You may feel lost at first, unsure where to begin, but you don't need all the answers right away. Start by exploring your interests, even those that seemed insignificant. Maybe you always wanted to learn an instrument, try a new sport, or start a personal project. This is the perfect time to focus on yourself, not just to fill your days, but to reconnect with what genuinely makes you happy. Also, ask yourself how you want your relationship with yourself to be. Often in our quest to please others, we neglect our self-esteem. Now is the moment to be kind to yourself. Instead of judging your past mistakes or feeling ashamed for letting that relationship consume you, choose forgiveness. Speak to yourself as you would to a close friend, with compassion, patience, and support. Another important aspect is reconnecting with your values. What matters most to you? Which principles guide your life? Sometimes our obsessions distance us from who we really are. Now is the time to align your actions and decisions with what you believe in. You'll be surprised how centering and authentic this makes you feel. Rediscovering yourself without them doesn't mean erasing the past, but learning from it. It's a reconstruction process where each step brings you closer to a version of you that doesn't rely on anyone else to feel whole. You are enough on your own, and this journey inward proves you have the strength to move forward, even when the path seems uncertain. Each small discovery along the way reminds you that your life has purpose and that happiness can arise from within. No matter what you've lost, you remain enough. If this video helped you reflect or find tools to set yourself free emotionally, leave a comment sharing your experience. I'd love to know how you're facing this process and what steps you've taken toward your emotional freedom. Also, if you value this content and would like to support my work so I can continue creating material like this, consider leaving a super thanks. Your support makes a big difference and motivates me to keep sharing messages of growth and transformation. Thank you for being here.